Good evening, and welcome back to the farm. Are you looking to save some money on some food? Maybe you want to see how we grow hundreds of pounds of vegetables each year for us and our livestock. Or for argument's sake, let's just say that some of the things regarding the world's problems you hear on the news every night are true. You know, impending nuclear war, out of control inflation, empty shelves everywhere, fuel shortages, Europe freezing all winter, food shortages, whatever. And if these things are true, what exactly are you going to do about it? You could just give up. Or maybe you could actually do something to help you and your family through trying times. And maybe save some money in the process. We started growing our own food in the 1980s, early 80s, to help deal with many of these same issues that were going on then. You know, the whole history repeats itself thing. But frankly, mostly it was to help cut expenses and help us eat healthier. This is the first of a series of videos where I will show you how we did it. We started with nothing, absolutely nothing. And today we grow about 80% of our own food. To get future videos, please subscribe and hit the notify button. I think most people, at one time or another, have at least thought about the possibility of growing their own food. I've only got one thing to say. Welcome to the party. Now, to be clear, I don't necessarily think there's going to be a food shortage next year, or the year after that, for that matter. But growing your own food is always a great idea, and the security of having food in emergencies, whether it be a hurricane, tornadoes, recession, whatever, is immeasurable. But now what? What can you do today to start working on this? Well, let's sit back and, think about this for a few minutes. There may be a few considerations that you need to think about before you buy any seeds, much less a cow or a goat or something. I always get a big kick out of the guys on YouTube with a few tomato plants, maybe a row of beans and a couple chickens, telling everyone they're going to grow their own food for a whole year. And to stay tuned to see how it's done or come learn from their mistakes. Let's say there is a food shortage. Do you want to learn from people who are still making the mistakes while your family is relying on you to provide food for the table? I actually had a little rant about this a few weeks back and put up a short video, which I will link below. But I digress. Before we go any further, there's one main consideration you need to realize before growing your own food. It's a whole lot of work. That's whether you have livestock or not. Are you physically able to put up with those demands? And this is something you got to be realistic about. You know, if you cannot put in the work and the time, and it's a lot of hours, maybe you should come up with a plan B. Maybe your children or grandchildren can help along the way. It's just a thought. Here are a few questions, in no particular order, by the way, you might want to ask yourself before doing anything in regards to growing food. Exactly how much food do you need? Do you and your family even like vegetables? Let's face it, some kids and even some adults these days, if it doesn't come wrapped in cellophane or in a can, they don't even know what it is. Are you going to have livestock? And if so, if you can't feed yourself, how are you planning on feeding them? How much room do you have to grow all this food? And exactly what are you going to grow? And if you have the room and you know what you're going to grow, where are you going to put it at? What particular space of property are you going to put your garden? Have you ever grown any of your own food before? Maybe even flowers or something? Will your soil support a large garden or any garden? Let's face it, in some places of the country, people pay lawn companies to spray chemicals so nothing grows except grass. Well, that's not going to help you out any if you're trying to grow a garden. Do you have any of the tools required? Any of them? To help put a garden together. A few hoes, a few shovels, something. Tiller would be good, whatever. As you can see, it takes a lot of pre-planning before you really get started. Your success or failure will depend on how much you prepare. Look, there's no economic benefit for me doing these videos, and maybe you're not even all that interested. But I have lived through a couple of these economic downturns, and one of them was really bad. And frankly, many of you have no idea what is coming. Even just a little bit of what they're telling us is true. To get updates on this video series, please subscribe and hit the notify button. If you have any questions, put them in the comments below or send me a direct message. In my next video, I will address what you should be doing right now, just in case. Until next time, see you down at the barn.